Haha, you guys didn't think I was just going to skip over Halloween without a video, did you? Because, after all, is there really anything I can show you that is within YouTube's community guidelines that is scarier than
It's not Halloween anymore.
What?
It's the 3rd of November today.
No, it's it. Oh crap, you're right. It is November 3rd. I'm 3 days late. Uh, okay. Oh no, you know what? No, it's fine. We'll fix this. I'm just gonna Google what holidays are today, and we'll just switch what it's about, right? Oh, it's National Housewife Day. Okay, screw it. You know what? It's still close enough to Halloween. This is still the Halloween special. We're just gonna leave it as is and pretend it's 3 days earlier, okay? We all good? Great. Alright, now that this is all sorted out, welcome back to the art of Border Gore, the series which, if printed out on a large poster board, would probably serve as a fine Halloween costume. Today, the unfortunate paradox victim of my artistic musings is poor old EU4. And while you might think that I, of all people, couldn't possibly pull off a world conquest and screw up the map like I have elsewhere, you'd be wrong, because I can, as long as the difficulty is cranked all the way down and I've enabled console commands, that is. But who should be the artist of this masterpiece to be? The poor nation who can take the historical blame for all this in some fictitious history textbook 1,000 years into the future? The answer is Austria, for two main reasons. First off, I know you guys in the comments think you're hilarious when you say, you don't have to do this for EU4, Vale. The HRE is bad enough. Well, look here. Let me tell you something, pal. Because if you think this is as bad as it's gonna get, then you should probably be running for the hills by now. Because imagine this over this. But the HRE, as pathetic a Border Gore painting as it is a good place to start. The second reason we're going with Austria is that they've already produced a lot of great artists throughout history. Like, Hitler, for example. Right, now that we know what we're here to do and who has, let's get started. First things first, we need to unite the HRE. Not all the way, mind you, these filthy commoner princes aren't going to get a say in this, but just enough that they'll all swear fealty to you and become your direct vassals. You can probably tell where this is going by now. Now, there are many ways for you to gain the imperial authority you need to enforce your iron will on the petty German princes. The first and easiest way is to just conquer a lot of land outside the HRE and then add it back to the HRE. Land like the Ottomans, for example. Can't be that hard, right? Alternatively, your other options are annoyingly honorable. You can defend the filthy princes from outside attack, you can recover lost HRE territory, or you can simply type imperial_authority 100 in the console and do it immediately. But before you do, there is one thing you're going to need to deal with, the Shadow Kingdom. Because if you're going to paint this painting, you're going to want all the colors you can get, and that includes all the ones from northern Italy. Of course, even without console commands, this isn't really hard at all on the current difficulty, but remember to not just conquer them, but preferably take them as vassals for extra icing on this lovely cake. Once you've dealt with the mess in Italy, it's time to begin. It is at this point that I will now cut to the present, since it kind of defeats the surprise if I just show it to you as I go. Right. Now, I know it only says 1531 in the top right of the screen right now, but that doesn't count the fact that most of my time in this game has been spent paused. Because I'm scared that if I unpause this game, the entire world would revolt all at once and the game would crash. So that's something to do, I think, after you see it. And in fact, I'm going to let a day tick real quickly. There you go. Just so everything is lit up nice, because now you can see there's a light in the darkness over here in St. Helena. So, because EU4 has so many provinces, I think I'm going to go continent by continent here. And we're going to start with Africa, which, as you can see, doesn't really have very many changes. I'm not sure why Ulm owns that province, but the rest is relatively standard. You've got, however you pronounce that, down there. You've got Krakow here. You've got Tripoli. Tripoli is a thing. Utrecht, or something similar. I'm not Dutch. Here. Augsburg is here. You know, the usual stuff. I left a lot of the more primitive nations alive, because I was feeling unusually generous while doing this. So we're going to start moving further north. You'll notice I'm zooming in so you don't see it. You know, this some Austrian stuff here. You've got Fez. Spain has gone a little different than what you might expect. You've got Verdun. Algiers owns there. Lyon, that's Ulm again. Bavaria, Holland, the Pope, Lucca, Bocohen's Raj. You see, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry about it. And as you move into the rest of Europe, you'll notice it's a lot of the same. I left France alive because I decided I would need him later, but he has been divided into all these little sections. The British Isles have been the same. Ignore these three. We're going to get to them. Don't worry about it. Germany hasn't really had that many changes itself, because I didn't really feel I needed to change it that much. Pomerania actually did this on their own, by the way. I'm quite proud with them. They did this before 1531, so it's impressive. So move up into Scandinavia. I think the joke I'm trying to make here is it's quite clear. No explanation there. You've got Finland, Livonian Order, poor Lithuania. He's got some problems. If you move down into Turkey, it would appear that the Bulgarians are already trying to revolt. Bloody peasants. We've got some of the Turkish miners. No Ottomans. I'm not going to let them live. And you might have noticed at this point that all of Russia, except for some snaky lines that I haven't shown you yet, is Austrian territory. That's because I decided to really express myself artistically with Russia, and I drew a message instead. I think it's a very profound message that I want all of you sitting at home to take to heart. And if you read it, it says S for Aachen, U by Lucca, B by Burgundy, which is sub, please. So, you know, I feel it's a very, very important message to get across. I think it's really the motive behind this video. So, in addition to this, you've got some interesting things happen as we get into this hemisphere here. So over here you have Isaro's Chinese slave. The hell? See South Chi? Okay, so something happened, but it's supposed to say Isaro's Chinese slave camp. I left that client state in charge of most of China. Over here in India, you may think, oh, you know, most of these guys are still around. That's all very well and good. But they're also all my vassals, except for a few. Down here you have Bocohen's Raj, instead of the British Raj, because I decided a Dane was probably fit to rule India. And last but not least, we have Rumi's personal Helho Australia. Okay, there seems to be a slight issue in EU4 when it comes to long client state names, but, you know, that's fine. Why does Ulm own all these random provinces? Okay, you know what? Let's get to that. Because you may have noticed, I have shown you all of this continent and all of its horrific glory. But I haven't shown you the other continents yet. And that's because there's something very wrong in the next continent. And I want to know if you guys can see it before I have to say it. This is these continents, and the brighter of those watching will have realized that this is not South America. Other than that, I think it's perfect. There are no issues here. There appeared to be bits of land I missed down there. Oh well, that pisses me off a little bit, but we're gonna let that slide. I'm so done with this series. Like, guys, please, I don't want to do this anymore. I want out. Like, it's so awful. I don't... How many more of these can I actually take before... Like, how many games have I got left? Crusader Kings and Victoria 2? That's basically it, right? Just the two. It's all fine. Right, well... I hate myself. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.